Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on September the 14th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the data that's coming up on Monday, there wasn't a whole lot in terms of news. Coming up on Tuesday here, we do have a few important pieces. First one is the employment numbers here. The employment numbers are important, and this is for UK, so it will impact the British pound. Now, in terms of the claimant change here, the number has gone up a lot. So a lot more people are expected to apply for unemployment benefits here. So that's an important number. If the number comes in even higher than 71,000 here, that will be negative for British pound. And another thing here, the employment number or the data the employment rate is supposed to drop. And again, if it drops more than what we see there, that would be negative for the British pound. In addition to that, we also have CPI numbers here. These numbers are, again, very important. With the inflation going up across the board, we are expecting numbers to be higher here. So any kind of higher numbers than what we see here would be positive for the US dollar, because then the expectation would be that the Fed would be forced to either raise rates or cut back on asset purchase programs. So both of those would be positive for the US dollar. In addition to that, we also have consumer sentiment numbers here for Australian dollar. All right, so that's it for the data. So let's move on to our charts here. Starting off with euro dollar. So euro, we did see the euro drop here. Now prices into support. So this is where prices had struggled previously, and that's where we are again. So at this point, we see that price went into the support, and then there is and then it bounced off of that level. So in this case, I'm looking for a bit of a pullback here. We may see a bit of a drop and then a further move to the upside here. So neutral bias here and even slightly bullish. We may see price either drop into 1.1790 or 1.1780 and then go higher from there. So at this point shows rejection, so we're looking for price to move higher, and in this case the target here would be 1.1850. So neutral to bullish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar, with the pound dollar we see a similar type of reaction as well. Initially we saw price drop and then it bounced off of the support level, and now we have a bullish pin bar here. Now with the pound, we do have employment numbers coming up, so we do need to be careful. But first target here is 1.3850 and then potentially all the way into 1.3880. So bias here is bullish within the range, though it has been trading sideways here. So looking for price to move up, and this is where we have to be careful. It could turn around either into 1.3850 or 1.3885 level here. So bullish bias here for pound dollar. Aussie dollar, this one as well, as we can see, price came into support and then we have a bit of a bounce from that. Bias at the moment is neutral. We could get a retest of 0.7335 level back into the support here before we see it go back and become a range bound. So right now I'm looking for a retest of the support and then price going back into towards the middle of the range and potentially higher. So at this point, 0.7400 is the target here. So neutral bias here for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one as well, we see price is making higher lows, and at this point overall, though, this is trading in a range here, so no clear direction. However, we see price has been rejecting the support here, so this one could go all the way into the resistance and then back into the range here. Neutral bias for New Zealand dollar as well. I'm expecting a move between 0.7150 and 0.7075. Dollar CAD here, dollar CAD. Okay, so we see price rejected the resistance and we are back into the range here again. So price has been going sideways here. We have a nice bearish engulfing candle, so looking for a drop. Target here is 1.2575 is the first target, and then potentially lower. So bearish bias for dollar CAD. All right, let's take a look at our commodity silver here. Silver dropped earlier. Initially during the day, and then it bounced off. So we have a big pin in the bottom, which means we could see a move higher here. So we may see a bit of a drop and then looking for a move higher. So neutral to slightly bullish bias here. In terms of our target, the only thing we have to be careful about is if it doesn't go through 23.85, then we could see price drop back again. But next target is 24.30. Gold has been stuck in a bit of a range here, sideways range between 1803 and 1783. So basically looking for a range bound move. So neutral bias for gold here. Oil has finally broken through the range that it was trading in and now looking for a follow through here. So target is 71.75. So bullish bias for oil. Copper rejected the top of the range and now we are back again, it rejected the resistance, sorry. And now we are back into the range again that it was trading in. So bias is bearish here, looking for a drop towards 4.25. So bearish bias for copper. Bitcoin, not doing much. It's been going sideways. And it's holding though. It hasn't broken through the support. It's holding. Today's candle close is completely neutral. So I'm looking for a neutral move basically between 47,400 and 42,580. So neutral bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we see a drop, we see a pullback here. And today's candle close is neutral. It did bounce up, but the concern is if it holds below 44.90, then we could see a further drop here. So we'll keep an eye on 44.90. If it goes through that, then it's likely to go all the way up towards 45.50 level. But if it fails to go through, then we could see a decline. So neutral bias for the time being for S&P 500. Nasdaq as well, completely neutral candle close for the day. And at this point, it's between two support and resistance levels. And we have to wait and see which direction it wants to break. If it goes through the support, we will look for a follow through to the downside. But if it goes through the resistance, then next target is 15,700. So we have to wait here. And then Dow Jones here, as we can see, price bounced off of the support. So looking for it to go back towards the middle of the range here, towards 35,130. So bias here is bullish, looking for a move back into the range here. 35,130 is the target. And then DAX here, DAX also bounced off. It is into resistance now, so that's something to watch out for, but bullish bias and looking for a move towards 15,950 here. FTSE also bounced off. Again, we are into resistance, so that's something to keep an eye on. If it holds below the resistance 70.90, then we could see a drop. But once it goes through, then we could see a move all the way to the top, and we'll look for that follow through. At this point, again, we have to wait and see which direction it lines up with. Nikkei here, Nikkei at all-time highs, prices all the way into the resistance here. And as we can see, this is where it had turned around from. Now we do have a big bullish candle close. So here, if it holds above 30,500, it could continue further. So this is what we have to watch. It's right into that that pullback level. If it holds above, it's likely to go higher. Otherwise, we're looking for a move towards 30,250. So again, neutral bias for Nikkei here. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a great trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.